Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you another of my classic film reviews, and today's classic film review is for the 1988 drama film Raymond, a film that is directed by Barry Levinson and it stars Dustin Hoffman, Tom Cruise. Now, this film is one of my favourite Tom Cruise films and obviously one of my favourite Dustin Hoffman films. It's an incredible film and it's a film I have long admired. I even loved this film when it first came out, and it came out in the late 80s when I was full in my Arnie mode, and these sort of films I had no real interest in. But I remember watching it when it came out and it really moved me, this film, for a number of reasons. And this film focuses on Tom Cruise's character, Charlie Babbitt, who is estranged from his father. He's like a entrepreneur businessman who's like selling cars, moving them on for a profit, all this kind of stuff, like sports cars, you know, top sports cars. And his father dies and he gets left out of the will, which is really distressing and upsetting for him, as it would be for most. And then he does a little bit of investigating and he finds out that everything in his father's will has gone to like this hospital, sanitarium type place, and he can't understand why, so he goes to find out. And he discovers Dustin Hoffman's character Raymond Babbitt, who is his long lost brother who has autism. This is a real shock for Tom Cruise's character. He did not know he had a brother, and he reacts pretty poorly to this, I suppose you could argue, and he actually kidnaps his own brother and takes him cross country, initially out of spite, until the hospital pays up and gives him his share of his father's will. But on the road he develops an incredible bond with his autistic brother Dustin Hoffman, and then by the end this relationship is really set for these two brothers. Right, so what are my thoughts on Raymond? Like I said, I just think this is an outstanding film. It won 4 Oscars. Obviously Dustin Hoffman was the best actor this year. He got the Oscar for Best Actor, and Barry Levinson who got the Best Director, and I believe it got Best Picture as well. So it was a massive hit. It was a smash hit at the box office as well, and rightfully so. And my understanding is as well that Dustin Hoffman initially wanted to be replaced early into filming because he was so insecure about his performance. He thought he was coming across as ridiculous, but obviously he didn't, and he trusted in his performance, and look what happened. It's one of the iconic Oscar wins. I think he did a wonderful performance, Dustin Hoffman. And from my past in care, I've worked with a lot of people with autism, and Dustin Hoffman's performance here was really fantastic. He really nailed. And now the thing is with autism, if you don't work in care, you don't understand much about autism, is no two people are the same with autism. It's like a big circle with millions of dots in it, and all them dots are different forms of autism, and everybody is very different, generally speaking. So it's hard to point at someone doing an autistic performance and saying they'd nailed that, because they're all so varied and different. There's probably a little bit of autism in all of us, really. But I just thought it was a wonderful performance. The thing that upsets me a little bit about this film is the fact that Tom Cruise always gets overlooked here. He was a young actor when he made this film. His star was rising massively in the 80s, and it was a risk to take this film because his performance was overshadowed by Dustin Hoffman. Many would argue rightfully so, but in actual fact, if you analyse Tom Cruise's performance in this film, his character has got a really meaningful arc in this story, and you could argue that his performance is on par, and maybe even arguably better than Dustin Hoffman's, because at the beginning of this film you really don't like Tom Cruise's character. He's selfish, he's egotistical, and then by the end, after he's made this real connection with his brother, he's a different person, he's a different character. He's made peace with his father, he's made peace with his past, and he's he's got this real bonding relationship with his brother that he's desperate to continue, and I just love Tom Cruise's performance here, and it does not get enough recognition and credit, so I just wanted to get that out there. When you watch this film, appreciate not only Dustin Hoffman, but obviously just really look at Tom Cruise's performance and just see how fabulous it is, especially from such a young actor at the time as well. So yeah, it's a really wonderful film. It's funny too. There are some genuinely laugh out loud moments in this, and you're not laughing at them, you're laughing with them, and there's some really, really heartbreaking and moving moments in this film. It's an almost flawless film, this. It's beautifully written with wonderfully fleshed out characters, and I think the only thing that really lets it down is when they try and glamorise it almost with the Vegas thing. I've always struggled with that bit, you know, where he takes him to Vegas to gamble and stuff like that, because it kind of betrays who his character is becoming. He goes back to being this selfish character when he does that, and it's quite late on into the film, and it doesn't. It's not in tune with the arc his character is heading in when he does this in this film. You can argue it's an act of desperation because he's losing his business and things, but it's never really sat right with me, that Vegas section, even though there are some really memorable moments in it. So for me, this is a wonderful film. It's a classic 1980s film. It's a 9 out of 10. If you've never seen Raymond, you must set some time aside to watch it. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. It's a wonderfully acted film with really moving performances, and it's still an awful lot of fun to watch today, and I guarantee you will enjoy it. So that is my classic film review for Raymond. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and of course I'll see you back for more reviews on Screen Stars very, very soon.